Hello everyone and welcome to VeeamON 2019 from a very sunny Miami, Florida. So we're hanging out with Starwind and we all have a reason for being here at VeeamON 2019, but I am curious what brings Starwind all the way down to almost, well, we can see the beach, but almost to the beach.
So the reason why I'm here and not sunbathing there, three reasons actually. First one, we wanted to tell people more about our partnership with Veeam and the hyperconverged part of the business that we're doing. Because the main product for Starwind is a hyperconverged appliance.
Okay.
And the goal is to have an appliance that's so easy to manage and so resilient that you can technically drop ship it anywhere, and customer just needs to deploy his applications, and that's going to be it. We also provide a free service to migrate applications off the old platform.
Okay.
But after that's done, the platform is ultra resilient and very autonomous. So think about like small customers, SMBs. They just don't have people who can manage it. Or big customers, enterprise edge. They just don't have enough resources. All these locations need to be autonomous as autonomous as possible. So this is the first part where Veeam helps a lot. So we integrated Veeam Availability Suite inside our hyperconverged appliance. And this allowed us to deliver the availability for our customers. So if things go dramatically wrong and we are not able to fix it or prevent it with our proactive support, then Veeam is the thing that allows us to recover these customers quicker, recover them to a better point in time, not to like day before yesterday, but to like minutes before, less than 15 minutes, oftentimes a goal for these organizations. So that's one side of the story. There are two other sides of the story. One is the backup storage that we're working on. There is block storage, but that's more mainstream. There are two other interesting aspects where one is virtual tape library, which is very flexible, as in you can get your Veeam data onto Starwind virtual tape, and then Starwind provides multi-cloud resiliency strategy for this data. So you can select for each individual tape library you're provisioning, you basically say, okay, I want this data to sit locally on object storage and then in a year just put it in Glacier Deep Archive. Or this stuff is critical, I just want it to sit on flash and be ready for recovery. So hence, one of the integrations for Starwind VTL is pure storage. So even though it's technically a tape library, in reality it's an engine where your tapes are very flexible and there is no need to handle physical media anymore.
That was my question, is going to be, do you actually have to physically touch the tapes?
No. So that's the beauty of it. Like with physical tape, you have manual labor. I know it's like tape is cheap, it's very good, but at some point, human labor and human
gotta move it.
Processes. You gotta move it, and there has to be someone doing it. In organizations like Edge and SMB, there's not that many people who can do that. So like, did you send the tape to Iron Cloud yesterday? So, sorry, our office just burned down. So did the last backup. So with big organizations, well, think of car rentals. They need this data. There may be financial data. Think about hospitals. So keeping dedicated people who need to manage physical media is not scaling to a point where our availability requirements are already like challenging us. So this is why we really embrace virtual tape as a technology. And one of the new technologies that we worked on is the ability to automatically migrate off physical tape to virtual tapes. Because right now, there are companies who do this service, but they charge something like $100 per tape, or a little bit less than that. We're able to just connect an existing physical tape library, plus replicate, and it will automatically replicate all these tapes to virtual, preserving all the barcodes and cartridge memory. So when you then reconnect the virtual tape library to your Veeam Availability Suite, it will say, I know this tape library, this is the old tape library that's been with me for 4 years already. And at that moment in time, customer gets this true flexibility where he just defines these backups go to cloud directly right now. These backups are sitting on my object
Yep.
storage, and these backups are just not going anywhere. They're sitting here on local flash storage. I need them for fast recovery within a day, but I'll throw them away later. And it's all automated. You don't have to manage all that anymore, so we make that management part easy.
So question to you would be, what would you tell somebody who's listening to this that has a large tape library and they come to you, and how can you help them?
So I would help them. So first I would do a proper thing, like revisit your reasons why you use tape.
Yeah.
Like if you need this data real quick and you know that you will need the full data set on site real quick, yes, you may still use the physical tape. But if you want to have more granularity, more flexibility, and much, much more automation, think like never touch it and it will just work, and then switch from I want to push everything on one tape to save space to a paradigm where tapes are virtual. I don't pay for media anymore.
Yeah.
You can now have one virtual machine per virtual tape or one database per virtual tape. That kind of granularity brings you more flexibility. So if you want that kind of flexibility in your environment, I would definitely go for virtual tape in this case.
Interesting. So what is your long take on tape then? Do you think tape has a place going forward long term?
It does.
It does.
And like tape will be replaced with crystal, is what I think. There is already a technology Microsoft is working on where they have some crazy amount of data written to crystal that's like post stamp size.
Wow.
And as soon as they figure out how to properly read and write fast enough from that media, I think tape has not much time left.
Yeah.
It's still a good media. It's still like pretty appealing to get 12 or more terabytes on a cartridge, but in our connected world, there are just less and less use cases. Like media still uses a lot of tape, but in areas where tape is used for media, we also see that internet connectivity speeds are changing and people start using the cloud, because previously they said, like, I need my materials here for editing and it will take me ages to download it. So yeah, internet connection is here right now, so tape slowly goes away.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty honest and candid take about the future of the medium. I mean, it's certainly played an important role up until now, but I think if your whole entire business is based off of tape at this point, you might want to start thinking about changing that a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, tape will not die. It will just have a more narrow niche.
Yeah, that's probably a really...
the realistic approach.
Yep. So let's go back to Starwind a little bit. So what else is going on in the Starwind world? Anything else? You guys have any new announcements recently? Or?
Yeah, so we have recently switched to a new management console that now includes hypervisor management, software-defined storage management, and don't think just Starwind. So let's say a customer decided to do other software-defined storage engine. We can integrate something like Microsoft Storage Spaces Direct Management into our management console.
You support storage spaces. Nice.
Yeah. So like even though there are scenarios where we would compete,
Yeah.
there are use cases where a customer would just use storage spaces direct, and we still want them to have a unified management experience.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, the goal of the whole this product called Command Center is to make your application management seamless. So you don't need to care about, is it Hyper-V, is it KVM, is it VMware anymore? You just manage your virtual machines and your applications. You don't focus on the background, on the hypervisor specifics anymore.
Gotcha.
And that's why we also integrated Veeam management into the play. So the Veeam backup configuration is just the right click in the management on the virtual machine.
Okay.
So the goal is to have that unified UI.
Sure, the single pane of glass to make it all...
Well, single pane of glass is one thing, but to make it a single pane of glass that covers not just one hypervisor, but multiple, it's what appeals to me. Because at the end of the day, all these SMBs or enterprise edge customers, they're not with Microsoft, they're not with VMware forever.
Okay.
There may be a moment when things change, and at that point in time, like SMBs, we need to switch from Hyper-V to VMware, or we need to train people.
Yeah.
Enterprise Edge, well, we need to train people. We need to change the management paradigms. If we make a proactive move right now and remove this transition period and this transition headache from them, this will be really beneficial in the long run.
Interesting, interesting. Well, if people want to know more about all this fascinating stuff, what's the best place to find it?
I guess our website.
Well, what's your website?
Website is starwind.com.
Gotcha, very cool. Is there anything else before we turn it off that you want the reader or listener to know about Starwind before we move on?
I guess that's pretty much it.
Well, if anything else, guys, there will be a link to their website down in the description below. We very much appreciate your time stopping by. Don't forget to subscribe and do all the good stuff, and we'll keep bringing you more content here from VeeamON 2019.